Hello, welcome to this new tutorial. In this tutorial, we shall talk about meaning and definitions of political science. Well, let us understand first the origin of the term politics. Now, politics is derived from the Greek word called polis, which means city-state. In this picture, you can get an idea what a city-state was or used to be in ancient time. Now, according to Greek philosophers, politics was a subject which dealt with all the activities and affairs of the city-state, and therefore city-states were known as polis. So basically, according to the Greek philosophers, all the activities related to the society and related to the state, especially activities such as like affairs of the state, which may be a political, which may be economical, as well as social in nature, were all directly linked to the activities of the state, and therefore these city states were known as polis. Moving on, political science is that part of the social science which deals with the foundation of state and the principles of the government. So basically, in a broader perspective, political science is such a subject which basically talks about the foundation of the state, how the state has been formed, what are the reasons behind, or what is the nature of the state, or how people by and large has decided to put together and make a state, as well as different principles and the functions of the government. So by and large, political science deals with the foundation of the state and various principles of the government. Let us take some definitions. Here we have J.W. Garner, and according to him, politics begins and ends with the state. It is very simple to understand. According to Garner, he believed that when we talk about politics or when we talk about political science, it all begins or it all starts with the state and eventually it ends with the state. So in between, whatever happens, all the affairs of the state is basically a study of political science. Then we have R.G. Gattel, and Gattel puts this way that politics is the study of state in the past, present and future. So Gattel gives a very broader perspective that when we talk about the study of politics, is basically about study of a state and its past, what was the history of the state, how the state eventually has been formed, what are the different individuals or the institutions which has played a role to bring about some kind of a consensus in building the state, as well as what is the present structure of a state. Very important, how today people are living in the state, whether people's basic necessities are being fulfilled or not, and definitely talks about the future perspective of the state, how state and societies are evolving to meet their challenges which will come up in future. So basically, Gattel summarize this stating that politics is a study of a state in past, present and future. Then we have Harold Lasky. Now Lasky says that the study of politics concern itself with the life of a man and a woman in relation to organized state. Now Harold Lasky gives a different perspective. Yes, he says the important always is given to the state, organized state, but here the catch is who makes this state, who are the people who are very important institution of this state, and therefore Harold Lasky has rightly stressed upon the man and women, because the man and women who are living together in this society, they have a direct relationship when it comes to organize this state, because end of the day it is a man who created this state, man who have brought these different institutions in the place in order to have a peaceful coexistence society among different individuals, especially men and women. So therefore the word politics has a different interpretation. One is traditional view and one is modern view. So when we talk about understanding the meaning of political science or a meaning of politics, it has been interpreted differently by different scholars. And if you just look upon these three definitions which I have given, then we can get a broad understanding that different scholars have interpreted politics or a political science differently from time to time and from centuries to centuries. So therefore, to understand these two different interpretation of a word politics, we have to understand it from traditional view perspective and modern view perspective. So now let us take first what is this traditional view perspective of understanding the meaning and definition of political science. Now let us talk about traditional view. So according to traditional political scientists, politics deals mainly with the study of state or government or related to institutions. So basically from a traditional view perspective, political science basically deals with the study of state and its government and all those institutions which are either supporting the state or contributing to build the state in a way very comfortable for the people. So in short, traditional view perspective of political science is talking about the study of state, the government and all the related institutions. Moving on, according to Gattel, political science deals with the association of human beings that form political unit. Again, very important traditional view perspective, that according to Gattel, he says that when we talk about political science, then it deals with the association of human being, the human being who have created certain association, and this association has in a way literally formed political units, and therefore these political units in a way represent the association of human being in society. Moving on, according to Sir John Seeley, he says that political science investigate the phenomena of a government, very important, and further he says that the way political economy deals with wealth, biology deals with life, algebra deals with the principle, similarly political science deals with the phenomena of this government. Now when we talk about government, by and large government is controlled by the people. It might be a group of people, it might be a individual, or it might be through some political party or ideology. So in short, according to Sir John, he says political science is all about understanding the phenomena of government. Moving on, we have Paul Janet. He says that political science is part of social science which treat the foundation of the state and a principle of government. Again, according to Paul Janet, who is a very traditional view perspective, he says that when we talk about political science, it basically talks about the foundation of a state and again the various principles of the government. Moving on, we have Professor Lasky, who says that the study of politics is concerned itself with the life of a man in relation to the organized state. Again, the focus is on very traditional perspective of a man and its relationship with the state, that it is a man who have formed this political unit, and these political units have taken a different shape into an organized state. Next we have is Garris. He says that political science deals with the origin, development, purpose and all political problems of the state. Again, on a very traditional perspective, Garris believes that political science deals with the origin of the state. It deals about the development of the state. It talks about the purpose why the state was formed, and definitely it talks about all the political problems which are part and parcel of society as well as the state. And last, according to Dr. Leacock, he says political science deals with nothing but government by and large. So it is evident from these above definitions that according to traditional view, the main subject of the study of political science is the state and government. Now let us understand the modern view perspective and understand the meaning of political science from modern view. Now let us talk about modern view. In the modern view, the meaning of political science and politics started associated with power. And following scholars such as George Catlin, Charles Merriam, Almond, Powell, and Max Weber were among the 21st century who gave attention to and focus on the study of power. In fact, politics all along had been and continued to be a power politics. Example, be it slavery in ancient time, supremacy of church, the state in medieval age, or the expansion of franchises in modern time. If we understand these examples and if we try and make some sense out of this example, then it shows very clearly that power has played a very important role, and that is what all these scholars have talked about in 21st century, that when we talk about political science, when we talk about politics, it's all associated in and around power in a different manifestation. And therefore power, when it comes to ancient time, where slavery, power during the medieval time was about church and later on by the state, and today the real powers lies with the voters, the universal adult franchises in modern time. So these all were the manifestation of a struggle in which nation promoted from power through influence. Now let us take some example to understand a modern view of political science. According to Robson, political science centers on the struggle to gain and retain power, to exercise power or influence over others, or to resist that exercises. So basically Robson speaks about that when we talk about political science, it centers around the struggle to gain power, to retain that power, and to exercise that power or to influence over others. Then we have Max Weber. Now, Max Weber says that politics is the struggle for power or the influencing of those in power. Again, Max Weber stress upon that when we talk about political science, it is all about the struggle for power, and once you have that power, how can one influence others with the use of that power? Then we have a next scholar called Wasby. According to him, to some, politics involves power, authority, and influence. According to Wasby, power has a different manifestation in politics. Example, power, for some it is authority, whereas for some it is influence. And moving on to the last scholar, Robert Dahl. Robert Dahl, in his famous work Modern Political Analysis, he has written that power, influence, and authorities are commonplace words that ordinary men share with the political practitioners and political theorists. And therefore he says power has a different manifestation. For some it might be a power to govern, for some power of the purse, for some political power, spiritual power, economic power, national power, judicial power, or presidential power. These are the different forms of power, authority, as well as influence, which has been dominated within the modern perspective or a modern view of political science. So therefore, thus the study of politics include the study of power, influence, and authority, authoritative allocation of values, conflict, controversies and cooperation, group involvement, process of decision making, political institution, internationalism, and etc. So this is all about the meaning of political science or a meaning of politics from a traditional perspective as well as from modern perspective or a modern view. And therefore we have to understand that from a traditional perspective, the importance is given to the study of state, government and its institutions, whereas the modern view of a political science perceive political science associated directly with the power. So, I hope you have understood the meaning and definitions of political science. See you soon in next tutorial. Till then, take care.